How about Cooper Flagg going to the Dallas Mavericks of all teams? Now, I have been saying over the past couple of weeks that thank God he did not go to the Washington Wizards. He did not go to the Charlotte Hornets. He did not go to the Utah Jazz. Now, you can make an argument some of that is lottery related. I've always said the NBA draft lottery is rigged. It was rigged in 1985 for the Knicks to get Patrick Ewing. It was certainly rigged in 2003 for the Cavs to get LeBron James. It was rigged in 2011 for the Cavs to get Kyrie Irving. It was rigged in 2012 for the Pelicans to get Anthony Davis. It was rigged in 2014 for the Cavs to get Andrew Wiggins, which they used to get Kevin Love once LeBron came back home. It was rigged in 2019 to get Zion Williamson to New Orleans. And now here, by the way, I also think it was rigged in 2023 to get Victor Wembanyama to the Spurs. And now here in 2025, I believe Nico Harrison essentially trading Luka Doncic for Cooper Flagg and the number one pick is absolutely rigged. And by the way, the Mavericks did not get blown out by the Memphis Grizzlies in the playing tournament, and they would have made the playoffs. Could you imagine what would have happened? It is likely the Chicago Bulls, who, if it wasn't for a Josh Giddey Hail Mary shot against the Lakers, remember that incredible half court shot at the end of March, would have had the 11th odds, which we now know would have won the lottery, which I wanted Cooper Flagg to go to Chicago or Philadelphia, by the way, who got the third pick, which is absolutely devastating, in my opinion, for the Sixers, a franchise that needs a complete reset with an old Paul George, who is not the same player, Joel Embiid, who is just a head case at this point. Tyrese Maxey's a very good young player, but I don't know if he's a number one yet, a player you can build around. I thought Chicago with Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, the house that Michael Jordan built, which now Jordan's going to be a contributor at the NBA on NBC. NBC is trying to make the NBA more important again, feel more important in the regular season, which I really like to see and hear. But as we go into these new media rights now, we're going to have in the Western Conference, you have the likes of the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have the Houston Rockets, you have the Los Angeles Lakers, you have the Denver Nuggets, you have the Los Angeles Clippers, you have the Minnesota Timberwolves, you got the Golden State Warriors, you have the Memphis Grizzlies, you add on the San Antonio Spurs, who I think are going to use the number two pick in the draft to potentially move up and get Giannis Antetokounmpo out of Milwaukee. Maybe they give up a Stephen Castle, the number two pick, and some other assets. You still have De'Aaron. Excuse me. You still have De'Aaron Fox there with Victor Wembanyama and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Could you imagine that combo defensively? That would instantly be a potential perennial championship contender. So again, the Western Conference is absolutely loaded. You added that with the likes of Kyrie Irving when he comes back healthy, Cooper Flagg, who was just what the doctor ordered for the Dallas Mavericks, a white superstar. We know Dirk Nowitzki, we know Luka Doncic. Now they get Cooper Flagg to pair up with Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, the big men that they have. They're going to be a really tall team. Maybe they move a Gafford or a Lively to even a Los Angeles Lakers of all teams. Maybe they take Austin Reeves off their hands. I mean, I don't know. Do the Lakers really need a third legitimate scorer? They need more bigs. That sort of feels like the guy the Lakers could move. But I said, Cooper Flagg is going to be an instant star in this league. I think he's a walk-in 18 to 20 points, 7 to 10 rebounds, 4 to 6 assists a game. I think he's going to make an immediate impact, and he's going to a team who was, again, a game away from making the playoffs as the 8th seed, a 39-win team. He's not going to a team like Victor Wembanyama went in 2023, which was, the worst team in the NBA, and they got to get assets and they got to rebuild. And we know Jason Kidd, right? We know his pedigree as a passer. We know his pedigree as a coach. He's coached the greats. He's coached, in Brooklyn. He coached in Milwaukee with Giannis. Now he's coaching in Dallas, and he had Luka Doncic, and now he's got Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg, and we know his history with the Mavericks winning the 2011 NBA championship. So Even though I wasn't necessarily happy that he went out to the West, because I think the West has every star, and I think Giannis, whether it's Houston or San Antonio, is going to be joining the Western Conference here very soon within the next couple months. And so if Kevin Durant, it doesn't sound like he's going to stay in Phoenix, but if he stays out West potentially, with this Jason Tatum injury news for the Celtics, the East next year could be the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks with stars. I mean, Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell and Jaylen Brown without Jason Tatum, there's your three best players in the East, in my opinion. So I am disappointed from that nature when the lottery results, came out and we were down to the final four. I was rooting for Philly because again, I think that would be a tremendous boost to the NBA to have the Sixers good again. You could get rid of Joel Embiid. I think he'd be instantly a top 3-4 seed in the Eastern Conference if you do a Cooper Flagg, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George basketball team. But that was not the case. And Nico Harrison, who got all the flack, and rightfully so, from pundits like myself, who thought it was the worst trade in the NBA history to give away Luka Doncic, got rewarded because he essentially traded Luka Doncic for Cooper Flagg. And listen, the Wizards are a garbage franchise. The Hornets are a garbage franchise. I know they have Danny Ainge, but I'm sorry, the Utah Jazz are a garbage franchise that are going absolutely nowhere, and it's in goddamn Utah. Or unless you listen to Drake and Josh, where nothing ever bad happens in Utah, Utah's just in the middle of nowhere, basically. Um, so I was happy he didn't go to any of those teams. I do think Dallas is going to be really good next year, but again, oh boy, the Western Conference is the absolute beast. And you got to wonder, man. I said earlier today, in my NBA playoff rundown, that I don't think LeBron's leaving Luka to go back to Cleveland. But you got to wonder if LeBron really wants to win a fifth championship, how are you going to make a move? Because the West still has Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. And we saw, listen, the Clippers took the Denver Nuggets 7 games, and Nikola Jokic is still there. And now you're going to potentially add Victor Wembanyama and Giannis, and you got Cooper Flagg, AD, and a returning Kyrie Irving, and you still got the Thunder, and you still got the Rockets potentially. And like the Thunder and Rockets are very young teams. And for Oklahoma City now, you kind of feel like the pathway is there where this is your year. You had the best year all year. You got to go out and win the championship, or this West is going to get even more difficult than it already is. What a wild night in the NBA. I hate the fact the Mavericks got rewarded for trading Luka because I feel like they deserve to be dog crap for a few years. But yet, here they are. Happy for Cooper, happy for Mavericks fans, not happy for Nico Harrison. I would have preferred Philly, but the Spurs also having the number 2 pick is a big portion of this because we'll see if they get Giannis. A lot of interesting NBA offseason conversations to come. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.